Quote that I want to share with you. If thine enemy wrong thee, buy each of his children a drum. So basically, if you really want to piss off someone, just give their kids a drum. They'll just annoy the crap out of them. So the subject I really want to talk about is about a drum line, and it's actually my high school activity that I did. You know, I didn't do clubs, I didn't do sports or anything like that. So a lot of people have seen the movie Drumline, but I can assure you that it's quite nothing like it. It's a little bit, you know, it's for the entertainment purposes, whatever. So I really want to go over the basic aspects of what is included in a drumline, including, like, you know, a lot of people know, hey, it's drums, but, you know, they don't know what they're called. I'll tell you about where you can find them and what kind of activities they do. So the first instrument here is the snare drum, and up here is kind of one of the first ones back in the medieval times in like the 1300s, and it was mainly for military purposes that they used for marching in time and marching in time and for communicating. This one down here is a little bit more of the modern snare drum, and they've kind of obviously evolved over time, and the sound's gotten sharper. And over here to your right is current drum corps, and in a drum corps for like these ones, they can have up to about 9 or 12 in a line, and they sound good to the point they actually sound like one drum, one really loud drum. So the next drum here are tenors or quads, and they're built up of multiple single-headed drums, and these are actually the heaviest ones. They weigh about like 60 to 70 pounds. And these are the ones that I played, and my back really hurt by the end of the year. But they're so much fun. These are actually the ones that kind of give more color to the battery, because everything else has one pitch, one sound. So these kind of give more color to the battery. And, battery would be like the marching percussion, like these ones here. So. The next one here are they're bass drums. And individual players, they have individual drums, and for the music, they can split parts, or where they go up and down, playing individual notes, or they play same notes at the same time. And they're kind of more of the groove of the drum line, giving, like, you know, in a rock song, they're kind of the base of the group. And these ones are kind of like the whole picture. You have the individual drum that you can see what it kind of looks like in a holistic view. You have the tenors here, the snares in the middle, and then the bass on the right. Usually the center snare is kind of like the section leader of the group. They tell you how fast to play, where you're going, such and such. And this one down here is in more of the indoor line when you play in the winter. This one's more like halftime show, outdoor show, such and such. And then the next section is auxiliary, and this includes anything that's not in the marching battery, which would be cymbals or keyboards. We have marching cymbals, timpani, cowbell, such and such. So, and the next section I want to talk about is where you would find a drum line, and right here you can see different categories. You have high school. And a lot of times you'll see them when you go to like football games for halftime shows. Next one you have college. Drum corps right here. And a lot of times for drum corps you pay to be in the group to compete. And then for military, obviously, which is the kind of the original, the source of where it came from. And click on the last link. I want to show you this really cool video. Can you go to the frame? actually a performance called Blast. It's a really big performance that includes brass, percussion, everything. It was actually over at California Adventure for a while over at the Hyperion Theater. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube. They have all the videos. It's really neat. The next section that I want to talk about is the like what kind of activities they perform in, and the first aspect is the competition side of it. And the DCI circuit is one of the bigger circuits of competition. Involves everything from winter guard, color guard, dance troops. Over here is the drum corps version. They even, if you go to Urban Spectrum at the movie theater over there, they actually live feed it from Ohio. And it's a phenomenal experience if you ever get to watch it. It's the kind of sound that you get, just the performance aspect, it's really neat. And then this one down here is more kind of what I did. It's a WGI, and it's the indoor winter guard line. And you kind of take what you would for a halftime show, but it's just percussion, and you kind of shrink it down to a basketball size. And the other side of it is entertainment. And this can include anything from, like the Blast video I showed you, parades like the Rose Parade every year, Juilliard, they produce amazing performers, of course, and they have concerts where they just do the auxiliary aspect, or you could do the include battery as well. So, and that included everything, the different components that's in a drum line. I encourage you to go see one. It's really neat, support the arts and such. So, yeah.
Mariano, what did you think?
I like the attention device. It was funny, and she previewed her speech well. She talked about what she was going to talk about in the speech, and I like the visuals. I thought it was interesting to learn about the different kinds of drums, because I don't really know much about drums, so I like that. The video I thought was really cool to see them in action, and I thought she was talking to the slides a lot instead of talking to us. That's probably the only negative.
All right. I thought the opening was pretty solid. You identified the topic. You've got an okay attention device. We know generally what the purpose of the speech is, although I think it could be a little bit more focused. The preview feels a little bit awkward. It's here's a quick list of stuff that I'm going to talk about. On the other hand, it actually seems like it's a pretty accurate preview, because the organization ends up sounding just like, and here's a list. And I thought that was a little problematic, because it seems so repetitive, and next, and next, and next, and next, and next. And it just sounds like you're checking off component parts here. You're not really developing a story. It's just like you're giving us an inventory of what all the drumline stuff includes, and I didn't think that as a result it sounded as interesting or it built as well as it could have. There's some good information in the speech, although I never hear a source citation for any of the things. I like your personal experiences. I think we could use a little bit more of that to make it interesting, so it's a little bit less like I'm just giving you the list or the description of the component parts, and more like there's something involving a story that goes on here. You may have been trying to do a little bit too much in the speech, because you're trying to cover a whole, to introduce us to the topic, to tell us all about the different elements of the drum line, to talk about the different kinds of competitions, to talk about the international competitions. It might have made more sense maybe to focus a little bit more. I think the audience helped you out a little bit more with the visuals than you expected. You needed to plan that a little bit better. You lucked out to having a good assistant here taking care of getting you on the right spot on the video clips, and having somebody over there who says, hey, let's turn off the lights and we'll actually be able to see this. Good planning. Okay, or actually, that's the way an audience ought to be. They ought to be supportive of you, and I appreciated that. Those of you in the audience who helped out that way. Thank you. All right. And then Mary, we've got you next.